Hey, and welcome back to a new video. So to start off, some people mentioned in my latest video that the audio quality was a bit too low. So my apologies for that. When I checked back myself, I also noticed that you had to crank up the volume pretty high to hear my voice clear. So I'll make sure it doesn't happen with this one. And yeah, to start off with this video, we're going to be making, I think you can call it one of the most used systems in almost every game, which is a door system. And not just a normal door system, it's a system that allows you to lock doors from both sides, and you need a key to pick them up. So I have a key here, and when you open it or when you pick it up, it says picked up door key, and it plays a nice sound. And if you have the correct key for the door, you can unlock and open them, and then they just work like a normal door. So since this will be a longer video than usual, I'll probably spread it out in two parts. So the first part will be just making a regular door that you can just open and close. And the second part is all about making the logic for locking the door, making the key, making the widget for picking keys up. And after those two parts, you have a full door system that you can use in any game you like. So let's jump in. All right, so to start off, like usual, we're going to go back to Blueprints, Actors. And I'm going to make a new folder, which I call door, so you can make multiple copies of the door we're going to make. For instance, a double door or any other specific door you want, and it's nice and structured. So I'm going to create a new actor. I'll let BP door base. And let's open it. I think the crucial part that we should probably start with is making in the construction script that you can build your door and your door frame. So top left on components, click add. Type static mesh. This will be door. And we're going to duplicate this one, which is called door frame. First, we're going to drag in door. And then we say set static mesh. That shit here. Drag this out. We're going to make this into a variable. And we'll call this door mesh. We're going to make it instant editable. Then we're going to copy it over again, and this will be for the door frame. So it'll be the same. Drag out a mesh, and then call door frame mesh. And as well, we're going to make it instant editable. I'm going into the class defaults, and then you'll see you have these two. So for door mesh, I'll just use the default Unreal Engine door, and same for the frame. I'm going to use this frame. And if you go into the viewport, you can see it's not pretty aligned right. So we're gonna align them a bit better. Looks good. Nice. So let's drag it in the scene here. This looks pretty good. All right. So now we got this nice door set up. And now let's get into the event graph. So since for this video you do need to have an interaction system set up. If you don't have that, check back on my latest videos. I'll link them in the description as well, so you know which one to watch to work with this system, which means that you have the interaction system set up. The interaction widget system is not mandatory for this one, since it only displays the actions you're going to do. So that's not necessary, but it is useful to have already set up. So for this one, we're going to go to class settings, implement interfaces. And we're going to call our interaction system. And then on interact, we just drag it here. So I think the first step is we're not going to work with keys. So we're just going to make a normal door system. So to start off, we're going to make a timeline. And I call this TL underscore door state. Which means the door is either open or closed. That's what we're checking. And we're going to open it up immediately. And we're at a new float track. I'm going to call it alpha. And it's going to be 1 second. Now we're going to add 2 keyframes. Doesn't matter where you place them now. We're going to select them. And set the first one on time 0 and value 0. Second one will be time 1 and value 1. Enter. Now we're going to zoom to fit so we can select them both. Right click. we say auto curve, so it smoothes a curve out, so we have a more smooth door open and close transition. So before we do anything with this, when we're going to be opening the door, we want to check if the door is not already in the open or close animation. So let's say if you spam it like that, the door will, you can have weird bugs where the door is still opening and then it closes immediately since it's still in the animation. So you want to get a branch, and then we're going to drag out the timeline, and you want to check is playing. What this does, it's checking if the timeline is playing or not. So in this case, it should not be playing, which means we can call it again. So drag out on the false, and we're going to immediately add a new branch, and this branch will be for opening and closing the door. So I'm going to call it B is closed, and then if it is closed, we're going to drag it out and set it here to false, so we set it to closed. If it is open, we can just copy this one as well, and then we're going to say it's closed now. So if it's not closed, we're going to play from start, so that will be the door opening. If it is closed and if it's open and it is closing, you want to reverse it from end, so it goes from open to close position. So now drag out door and then set relative rotation. All right, and we're going to attach this to the update. And then on the alpha, we're going to make a lerp, which you assign to the alpha. And then A will be 0, and B, we're going to do something else. We're going to make a select float. I'm going to use a select. And why we're going to use a select? That means we can invert the door state. So let's say some areas the doors need to open inwards, and some doors need to open outwards. So you can control that in the details panel, so the door either closes inwards or open outwards. So what we're going to do, we'll make a new variable, and we call it invert, and we're going to attach it here. So on A, we're going to make 85. These values are for the angle of opening, so it's going to be 85 on in the Z rotation. So most people use 90. I think 85 is a good point. So you can change it on whatever you want. So, and we're going to attach it here. So pretty much like this, it should already work since we have the core logic of it set up. So let's test it out, see what it does. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. But looking at my widget, I don't think the door has any collision since it's not picking up on anything. So let me check that real quick. Yeah, you see the door has no collision. If you look at the complex, you'll see. So for this one, I'm going to collision complexity, and I'll say use complex as simple collision, so the door has an actual collision. And as you can see, now we can open and close the door. And if we're going back into the blueprint and we make invert instantable, and same as if it's to open or close, that's for later. I'll show you why in a second. So now if you press it, oh, I opened something. And now we're gonna select it here. And now it's inverted, so it opens outwards from our position. And if I go back in it and I say false, it's opening towards us again. So you can control how it works. So to make this even nicer, we're going to go into construction script. And then after setting these, we're going to branch it out. And we're going to check if the door is closed or not. And then we're going to copy this logic from the rotation here. And then recombine the struct bin. And then attach it here. And then we're going to copy it 2 times over once again. So for this, leave it 0. So if the door is closed, so doors closed is true, you want to set all the rotation to 0, which means that's the closed position. If the door is not closed, so it's false, so it's open, we're going to branch it and we're going to check if it's inverted. So it's going to open based on what you've set to it. So if invert is true, you want to use the rotation on -85. If it's false, you want it on 85. And now we can both make them instant editable. So now if you go to detail panel, you have closed, false. Now it's true, the door is opened, and you can close it back. You can also now select invert, and then you can control how the door is responding, and you can build them easily in the level like this without going into the code every single time for each door. So let's get back to the rest. Since the door doesn't have any sounds, I think it's good that you're able to lock doors for this one without the key for now. So what you'll do is we'll add a new branch, and then we'll say for condition B is locked. So if the door is locked, you're not able to open the door. So if it's, in this case, if it's false, you can then follow the rest of the code. If it is locked, we want to place sounds. So what we'll do, we'll move upwards here, and we're going to make 4 custom events. I call this one door open sound. I spelled that wrong. Door open sound. And this one will be door close sound. This one will be force to open. So the force to open means when you want to open a door that's closed, you get that janky effect. And this is for later. We're gonna already make it. This is called unlock door, which means when you use the key for unlocking the door. So for each one, we're gonna say play sound at location, which gives a more spatial feeling instead of just playing it directly in 2D inside your ears, which I don't really like. You can do it if you want, of course. I just I like this better. So what we're going to do on begin play, we want to get the location of the door. So what you want to do is drag out the door mesh, get world location. And then we're going to make this into a variable. This is door location. We're going to set it on begin play so the game knows what the location of the door is to play the sound at. And then we're going to attach it to each single one. All right, let's clean it up a bit. So this will be open door sound. This will be close door sound. And force open sound. This will be the unlock door sound. And then for each one, we're going to drag out and make this into a variable. So it's easy to select the sound you want to play instead of opening the blueprint each time. So we're making it instant editable in this one. This will be open sound. It's easy to distinguish each one. Same for this one. Promote to variable. Close sound. This will be force sound. This will be unlock sound. Oh, misspelled that. And to the problem is that you're having probably now, if you go into the blueprint, you have everything in the same default thing. So at some point you're gonna lose where everything is. So to structure it better, I'm gonna click on sound, and for this one I'm changing default to sounds. And I'm gonna select each one. I'm gonna say sounds. And for all the booleans and things to build the door, I'm going to call this settings, which this is like the settings of how the door should respond to the settings pretty much. And these ones are locked, should also be in there. So now it's all nice and structured. And this is just a mesh. So you can build the meshes nicely here. And for door location, you can leave it here since this is non-instant editable. So if you now go back, you see you have sounds, settings, and the mesh. So you can easily build the door how you like. And it's all nice and structured. So for the sound, let me quickly import the sounds. So we're going to go to content. And we're going to make a new folder. Sounds. Inside here, we're going to make new folders. This is called raw. This is the raw files. And this is the cues we're going to be using. So opening raw first. And I'm going to select all of these. And for each one, I'm creating a cue. I'm going to move them to cues. And also going to make them not looping, but override attenuation so they're spatial. So this is door close and door open, force open, the key jiggle, which is for later, and then the unlock. I'm going to select all three of them. I'm going to make them all attenuated like that. Don't forget to save. I'm closing it back up. Going back in the door. So for open, you can now select open. Probably door open, easier to find. This is force open. Close the sound. For these sounds, they will be linked when I upload the project to GitHub again. So you can either download the project and extract the files. If you want to be able to download them separately, let me know, or hit me up on Discord and I can send you them directly if you like. This will be unlock. Right, so we got that nice setup here. So we're going back to the graph here. And on here, we're going to call door open sound. Play from start. And this will be door close sound, like so. Up a bit, like so. And now we test it out. The door doesn't unlock, which is probably due to me unlocking the door. So now the door is nicely playing a sound whenever I open and close it. As you'd notice, this closing sound is not really aligned with the door actually closing. So to fix this, because I can either change, I have a small delay on the sound, or just add a delay right here, which I think should be like 0.5 of a second. So it delays the sound with the closing door, because the sequence is 1 second to open and 1 second to close it. So it gives the sound 0.5 delay, so it matches with the sound, closing sound you see. So opens immediately, and when it closes you have 0.5 second delay and then plays the sound. Like so, so it aligns better. Right, so now let's say the door is closed. You want to have that janky effect where you try to force to open the door. So for that one, we're going to make a new timeline. I call it TL_force open. And we're first going to attach the sound, which is force to open. We're going to attach it here. We're going to open the graph. So this won't be 1 second. So we're going to add a float track called alpha again. And this will be 0.3 of a second. And the first one will be, like always, 0, 0. And then the second one, I'm going to place it right here. And for time, I'm going to use 0.1 and time 2. And we're going to add a second one. And for that one, we're going to be value 0.2, time, sorry, 0.2, and value -2. And then for the last one, which will be time 0.3 and value 0. We're going to align them better. Select them all. Then you would have something like this. All right. Let's get back to the event graph. I'm going to move this down a bit. And then instead of lerp, we're going to say make rotator. And then attach this to the yaw. And then update, we're going to just copy the relative rotation. Then for this, we're going to recombine the struct bin. And then attach it like this. So if the door is locked, we want to play this event. So we're going to add a new custom event. And we'll call this open locked door. Force open lock door. And we're going to call this event whenever we try to, so we will call this 2 times. So whenever you open a locked door and you don't have any key, and let's say it looks for the key and it doesn't find it, it will play this as well. So on the true, force open locked door. So we can test it out. When the door is locked like so, it should now play the animation. You see, so this is like you're trying to open a door but it's locked. And whenever you had the key, it will then either open it, and if it doesn't find it, it will play the same effect. So you can have locked doors. All right. So yeah, this is pretty much everything you need to have a simple door opening and be able to lock it. So for the next part that we'll be uploading shortly after this, we're going to make a custom key, a custom pickup widget. When you pick up the key, store the key IDs in an array, and also attach the logic for checking if you have the correct key for the door. So yeah, hope you like this tutorial, and I'll see you on the next part. So have a nice day. See ya.